Okay, so we'll kick off this haul with another drone. I think this is also from Gearbest. And we've got here the GT210 Fire Dancer. Here's a look at what it looks like. We got two sets of these pink Racer Star. I think these are the 5048 props. I don't like these props very much. I wish they would stop using these. And here's a quick look at it. Yeah, it's using the same motors that were on the GT215. And if you guys are wondering, I haven't fully finished with that drone yet. But I'm thinking that something's wrong with these motors because I'm still getting flips to death on the second one that I got. I actually got two of those GT215s with these motors, and I think something's up with these motors. Let's see if this one has that same problem. But basically, I think it's got similar parts, similar camera, just the cage here is different. You got an aluminum cage here, and you got this like basically an X-frame, single bottom plate there. I think these are 2306 2400 kV motors. These are clones of something. I forget what they're called. The Race One motors, perhaps. Yeah. So having issues with flips to death. Hopefully this one doesn't, but. Yeah, we'll have to review this one too and see what's up with this guy. I'll let you guys know in a little bit. Okay, so I got another toy drone here. This is also from Gearbest. This kind of looks like the E58 that I reviewed, the E58 with the folding arms, kind of like a Mavic clone, but this one doesn't have the folding props. I think this is a clone of something else. Maybe it's called the Vizio. I vaguely remember something that looks very similar to this. So. It's called the DM95 Visitor, and yeah, I'll have a video on this coming up later on. But another toy drone here, pretty cool looking. Okay, got a bunch of stuff here from iFlight RC, and we have a couple of frames here. This is the Ultralight Y frame, and then this one here is the Ultralight X Light X5 frame. So these are both as you indicate in the name, they're both ultralight frames. I think the top plate's a little bit different. This is a Y-shaped top plate, and this one's an X-shaped top plate, but I think the bottom plates are going to be the same. You got replaceable arms, it looks like here. And then they've sent along two sets of additional arms. So these are the replacement arms for these two frames. So if you happen to break any of these arms, the replacements are available. And I think that they went for super thin, super lightweight, and they just figured that you could replace the arms if you break them. So if I remember right, I believe this frame fully built comes in like around 55 or 60 grams, so definitely would qualify for the ultra light category. But I'll have a review video on these guys coming up pretty soon. Okay, I got another box here from iFlight RC. I'm not sure what this is. There's no label on it. Okay, so it looks like we got here a fully built drone with the 2.5-inch props. These are these Gemfan 2540s. And comes in a pretty nice little box here with the foam already cut out for it. Fits perfectly in there. So I guess you could store this in the box with the props on. So pretty nice. So anyway, here's a look at the drone. You have a couple antennas up here. Looks like you have a micro receiver in there, or probably FreeSky XM Plus. Got a camera here, and I believe this is an all-in-one camera. I'm not sure. Maybe one of these antennas might be for the all-in-one video transmitter. Doesn't look like that's a CCD camera, but it looks like you have some holes on the side here if you want to mount like a Microswift or a Micro Arrow. Something of that type. I'll have to investigate that. But I'm pretty sure this came with an all-in-one camera. Pretty nice construction. Looks like a True X frame. And obviously you got 2.5-inch props. So I like these props, very nice. We got some 1106 6000 kV motors. So it's ought to do 2S, 3S no problem. Pretty thick bottom plate, looks like about 2.5 millimeters, no flex. You got probably 4 all-in-one ESC, and you got your flight controller. I'm not sure what flight controller it is, and can't quite make out where the receiver is. And they're probably gonna have to pop it off anyway to bind it, because I don't like the bind button is all that accessible. Yeah, and yeah, they're still sticking with the JST until they I don't know, maybe they're going to keep using these until they run out of them or whatever. Maybe they bought like 1,000,000 of them. Not sure why they keep doing that. They should go to XT30. I'm probably going to swap that one out. But this frame looks super nice, and I do like the pod style. Looks pretty cool. Okay, got another frame from iFlight RC. This is the red Vertigo VX5. So this is a vertical arm frame, kind of like the real one and the real one S that I reviewed a couple weeks ago. It's gonna be kind of hard to tell what this looks like just from the parts here, and you can see here the metal pieces. The arms go in here vertically. It's a very unique looking frame. I'll put a picture up here so you guys can see what that looks like. It's a pretty interesting looking frame with a vertical arm, so it should be very strong. Looks like it comes with these little braces as well. Yeah, another vertical arm frame, and we'll check it out, see how it looks. Okay, yet another frame from iFlight RC. This is the Rhino 5-inch. This is a molded carbon frame, so that's why it's in a large box here. Looks like you get some arm bumpers, camera mount here, some 3D printed parts. And this is the frame itself. You can see this is the molded carbon. Very interesting looking. Didn't see anything like that. It looks like that whole thing is molded, and you got this is your bottom plate. This is probably where you're going to mount your electronics. And obviously there's the camera mount over there that's going to be mounting through this probably, and yeah, the camera comes out there. But this is very interesting looking. Should be pretty strong. Yeah, it's very strong. Can't bend it at all. Kind of wondering how they made this. Don't know much about molded carbon, but I've heard that this is very strong stuff. So I'm definitely looking forward to reviewing this one. I'll have a video on this one pretty soon. Okay, so I got a bunch more stuff here from AKK. In this box we got looks like a transmitter and it's like a video transmitter and camera combo. So this is the AKK A5 25 milliwatt video transmitter. And let me see, we got connection here for power. We got a little micro camera here and a little connector here for that. And to the camera you got ground, power, and video. And this looks like a typical micro camera. Yeah, it looks pretty much the same as the other ones I've seen. And you got a tiny whip antenna soldered on. It's fairly lightweight. Don't think it's probably going to weigh much more than 4 or 5 grams for the whole thing, but I think this is going to be good for maybe like your tiny whoops with the mullet mod. Good to have the camera mounted and then the video transmitter flat, so you have a nice low profile. Probably will do something like that, so I'll put this on probably one of my eYushin B-Core E011 mods. I'll have another video of that, so I'll put this on there, so stay tuned for that. Okay, we got the AKK Nano 2, and this one is the little micro video transmitter, but this one has the smart audio feature, and looks like this one, it kind of looks like the VTX 03, but without the little LED. So there's a quick look at it. You get a little micro FL whip antenna, just like the VTX 03, and this definitely looks a lot like the VTX 03, but there's no little LED window in there. One button, of course. Got a bunch of wires coming out here. You got one for your power connection here. And then it looks like you got 4 connections here, power, ground, and probably video and audio. So you have a 4-pin connector on this end. But yeah, this looks very lightweight, and I like the fact that it doesn't have the LED and it has the smart audio feature. So yeah, I guess the 4th cable must be the actually the pin out for the smart audio connection to your flight controller. So that's probably not audio because there's no microphone on the video transmitter here, so pretty sure that's for the smart audio feature. Yeah, I'll do a review on this pretty soon. Very light. I like the fact that it doesn't have the LED, and obviously it's going to be power switchable and all that, so it should be pretty nice video transmitter for your micros. Okay, this looks like another flight controller. It's the AKK F4, but this one has support for the SD card for black box logging. Here's a quick look at it. Yeah, this is basically an Omnibus F4. You can see here you got the current sensor, and you've got the SD card slot on the bottom here, Betaflight OSD. Obviously the SD cards for the black box logging. So they have another version of this, I think they sent to me earlier. It's just the F4 only without the current sensor or the SD card slot. And that was just the Omnibus F4, the standard version. This is the F4, I guess, with the SD card and the current sensor. So I think in most places it's also known as the Omnibus F4 Pro or Omnibus F4 V2. But yeah, this should take the Omnibus F4 SD target and Betaflight, so you should be able to update this to the latest firmware and Betaflight configurator. Okay, we got a couple more video transmitters here, the FX2 and the FX3. I'm not entirely sure what the difference is between the two. I think maybe the FX3 might be a newer version. They both have the MMCX connector. Oh, I see, one's a 36 by 36, the other one's a 26 by 26, so obviously different size boards. So here's the FX2. It's a standard like 30 by 30 size board. You got the MMCX connector here. I think this is very similar to the X2 that was out before. It's just sort of a normal form factor for a video transmitter, but this is for fitting on top of your flight stack or on top of your flight controller. Doesn't look like there's any connections on the bottom. There's a few solder points on here. I'm not really sure if they're going to be used for anything. You have a connector here for all of your power and video out and stuff. Also, this I think this has a smart audio feature, I believe. Anyway, I'll take a closer look at this later in a review. Let me know if you have any questions. Okay, so this is the FX3. It's quite a bit smaller, 20 by 20 size. And again, I'm not sure if this supports smart audio or not. It doesn't look like it says anything on here. I think this one might, actually. You got one button here, LED. Pretty nondescript here, not a whole lot of stuff on the board. Do have an MMCX connector there for your antenna. Yeah, I'll take a closer look at this later, and of course check the link, and you can check out the specs there in the link, but I'll do a formal review later on this and see if it actually supports smart audio or not. Okay, so this is the new Hyperlight Flowrider frame from Pyrodrone. This is the new acro frame designed by Kebab FPV. It's supposed to be fairly lightweight, and this is one of the ones where the battery goes on top, hence the name acro frame. Yeah, I'm not going to take it out of the bag. I'll just put a picture up on the screen of what it looks like, and I'll be doing a lightweight build with this with probably that HGLRC F440 stack. Hopefully it'll take 5-inch props on a 5-inch motor. Should be no problem with 40 amp ACs. But I think that's going to go into this frame, and that should be coming out pretty soon. Okay, so here we have the BB66 Light from Full Speed RC. I think this is just like the BB66 F. It's a different canopy and no prop guards. Okay, so here's everything you get in the box. This was sent to me by Lewis from Full Speed RC, and you get 2 sets of props here. Instead of one, I think one from Gearbest with the prop guards only came with 1 set, and you got the same 260-1S high volt battery, the same charger, and the same little USB adapter. So, and some rubber bands, those are all the same. But obviously here the drone's different. You got different camera mounts. It's a little lighter, and no prop guards, and no braces for the prop guards. So I believe the frame and everything else is the same camera, same power stack. And I believe this one came with a receiver. And you can see here's our little receiver antenna here. And it looks like he stuffed the receiver underneath the camera mount. I'm not sure what receiver it is, but I believe if you order from the Full Speed RC website, you can tell them what receiver you want, and then it'll come pre-installed, which is nice. I think the one with the prop guards from Gearbest does not come with a receiver, so something to keep in mind. And yes, it looks pretty much the same except for no prop guards and different canopy or different camera mounts. So I think it should be a lot faster otherwise because it's less weight, but we'll find out soon.